While not being as impactful as Invincible, I would say the My Adventures of Superman is a really good, more grown-up animated TV show. What are your thoughts?
It's happy. It's fun.
It's very light. It's very carefree.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. The only thing I didn't like about it was no one's outfits looked very interesting besides Baby Clark and Kara.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a season 2 review of My Adventures with Superman. I am Steven, and that is
Hoppa.
We did a poll, and you guys said you wanted us to review it, so we'll review it. It was very fun. I think one of the gripes we had was it's a little short.
Yeah.
I like the lightness of it. I like being able to binge the 10 episodes, and it just feels like a good show to watch. Just fun, carefree.
My thing is
not many stakes, I would say.
Yeah, it's a shonen anime. Like, I mean, it's also like a slice of life kind of thing too.
Yes.
Because it does focus more on Jimmy and Lois. But I like that because Superman himself is just like this happy kind of go-lucky guy, so he needs the other cast to round him out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do like with shonen anime, you want a couple episodes of filler. Like maybe get a fight to go for like a full episode. Maybe just maybe have like a 3-episode fight where they're just screaming at each other.
Yeah,
that's the stuff I miss in anime.
Yeah. Especially when you give Clark anime moments. Like he has an anime moment where he gets his frost breath in this season, fighting Kara. Super sick, and they make it look like it's a laser beam.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it at first, and then I saw the freeze, and I was like, oh, it's a freeze beam. Oh, it's his breath. It's his frost breath. Okay.
That's another aspect I like about this Superman is that he has something special with him. Like Kara doesn't have the whole power up mechanic. So we get to find out that like Superman, anytime he he needs to help his friends, he'll power up a little bit more. He gets those blue eyes and he just starts, he'll develop a new power, Danny Phantom style, or he'll just get stronger and he can win the fight. He even says that he's like, I'll just get stronger.
Yeah. The art style is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love the colors, the brightness of it, the feel goodness of it.
Yeah, everyone looks great. Jimmy's cool looking. He's kind of nerdy, goofy looking.
I like Jimmy. He's kind of grown on me.
Yeah, and I think Lois also. She's another fan favorite. She was hated in the first season, I think, which turned a lot of people off the show. I think
because everyone loved her.
Yeah,
tomboy Lois Lane. Everyone wanted that, and then she does that thing where she's like, "You have to tell me your secret after like 3 months." Okay, Lois. I think she ends up redeeming herself in the same season.
Yeah. The whole, it was a natural arc. It was a natural arc. I think it was good character growth for both of them.
Yeah.
But like there was this big outcry. The outcry was stronger than the actual show. We see that in Star Wars too. No one really watched The Acolyte, but everyone complained about it.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
I didn't either.
I'm expecting it to be garbage, but not because of The Acolyte, just because most things Star Wars exists as being garbage. So
that's true. Once you understand Star Wars is bad in general, you'll have a better time with it.
Yeah, you just don't have to watch it anymore. It's like, oh, did you even watch The Acolyte? No. It's like, oh, so you're just one of those haters? I said, I'm a Star Wars hater. Yeah, not an Acolyte necessarily. So you know. But yeah, so they bounced that back, and I think a big reaction was because we were fresh off the Amber Mark stuff. And the people who watched that would watch this, and they were a little raw from like, oh no, we got another freaking Amber around here.
Yeah.
That's how bad Amber is, first of all, that she transcends to other TV shows. I want you to know that. That's what cracks me up.
They were just, okay, here's my thought, right? It was like, okay, we need to make this love interest for this superhero have something to do. Well, let's take the relationship angle, and it's like you would get mad if your spouse didn't tell you that they were a superhero, obviously.
Yes. Later on in the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the part they're missing.
Yeah.
2 months into a relationship, you ain't Jack Diddley.
Well, and I've never really read much Superman comics, but like in the Invincible comics, like Amber thinks Mark is a drug dealer for the longest time, so she's relieved that he's not a drug dealer.
Yes.
It's just a funnier payoff to me.
And she's like, my boyfriend's a superhero. It's like, that's the reaction you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, in this season, it's really good. I love their chemistry. I'll have a short coming out soon, or it's probably already out, talking about how they're just like the new gold standard. Like, and I think, Superman and Lois Lane have always been a good power couple regardless, but it's really nice to just see how easy they flow between each other,
Yeah.
They do have a little bit of a shake-up where Lois breaks up with Clark there towards the end of the...
Yeah, but it's like a work thing.
Oh, to stop this real quick, spoilers for this season of My Adventures with Superman.
Oh, yeah, put that beforehand.
Yeah. But...
Yeah, so it's like a work thing. Okay, so we get Vicky Vale, who is a Batman character in here, and she's like working for the Gotham Gazette. So she's trying to like one up Lois, and then she ends up getting beat by Lois. So she's like, "Hey, how about a job? I like the cut of your jib." And so she tries to get her to come to poach her essentially.
And
to
that's another divide here that we do see, and it's a good healthy issue between the relationship. Is Clark wants to find his cousin at the beginning of the season. He's like, I'm alone. I'm feeling lonely. I would like someone who's like me. And then you've got her on the other side trying to find out where she fits in the job. And then her dad is going through some issues. So they've got these issues that they want to handle by themselves. But then when they want to bring them together, Superman doesn't like the dad. And not because he hates him, but because of the way he treats Lois. And then she doesn't want the sister because she's like, oh, I don't know if another Kryptonian is such a good idea, Clark.
Yeah. But we also get to, like, we see why Clark doesn't like him is because the guy doesn't like him. Like, he's like calling Clark weird. Yeah. And he's like super against Superman in the first place.
But he even admits, he's like, I don't even care about any of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that sucks. But at the same time, I'm used to it. It's just like, I don't like how he puts you down all the time when you're the best person in the world.
Yeah. And Clark is alone. Like, I know that's not something that he focuses on because he's from Earth. He's from Kansas or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Kansas? Smallville. But
Smallville's in Kansas. Okay. So is Metropolis.
It's in Kansas?
Mm-hmm.
That's
canonically.
I guess it makes sense. If New York's in this city too, or New York's in this universe too, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, that blew my mind. I did not know Kansas had Metropolis.
Yeah,
bro. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, so he's like, oh, I'm alone. I need my cousin. Like, it'd be cool to have like another Kryptonian around and everything. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we do get this sort of divide. And he even just kind of like is willing to, But when she does come and she finally finds Jimmy, it's like this nice little moment for them.
I love the introduction of Kara. I thought it was so cool. Like, she tries to fight a bus. She goes on this like gallivanting, turns out to be date with Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think later he's like, I can't believe you have a crush on Jimmy. I can't wait to tell him that. He's like, I do not wish to crush him. I just wish to take over his planet.
Yeah, it was a lot of like fish out of water alien crap.
But it works. It worked really well.
Yeah, it worked good. I like how she was eating the ice cream and she's like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah, So, and it's cool too. She's revealed as that person we see at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Because you see Brainiac at the end of season 1. Well, we see someone like him. We don't know who he is.
She's in like Brainiac
you see this armored thing, but you see the red cape and you're like, who is that? I expected it to be some dude. I thought Zod or something. You know what I mean?
Sexist hoe.
Well, and then it turns out to be Kara, and she's a badass. She kicks ass, dude.
She's cool. I like that she's like. She's more. She thinks the Viltrum Empire is coming to save everybody.
Yeah.
The Kryptonian Empire, which
shout
is really
out to our buddy Caleb. He'd mentioned it. Was like, I love how they just went Viltrumite.
Yeah. Did you not get that either? I was thinking that too.
I liked the thing. I never really kind of made the connection. Oh, Viltrumite. They probably saw Invincible. Was like, oh, that works.
See, I was like, maybe this is a little too much because I was like, are we just doing Invincible again?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's Brainiac essentially trying to just destroy rather than like harvest, or like the Viltrumites in this case I think are more reasonable than the Brainiac guy.
And I like the changes they do to the Superman formula, because in the Superman originally, Brainiac's not related to Krypton at all. In this he was their AI. And then Krypton in the comics is usually faced with extinction because they just get rid of their natural resources and all that kind of stuff. In this, they were overthrown by Brainiac because they were going to actually get peaceful with their enemies,
whoever they were at war with.
I like too, Brainiac is not just Brainiac in this. I was telling you this before we started recording. He's also the Eradicator, which is in the comics the AI he's supposed to preserve Kryptonian life and how it works and stuff. And they kind of combine them both into a single person in this one. I thought that was really cool. I like the twist that they've done with the original story. It keeps it fresh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's and that's sort of something I used to be upset about. Like whenever you watch Spider-Man 2002, and you're like, he builds his web shooters. What are they doing? He has organic web. It doesn't really matter. Those little details don't really matter unless it's like something super character heavy. It's like integral to the character. But like as long as you do, like the Marvel Spider-Man is a great example of that. Mm-hmm. Like his backstory is actually 3 movies long before we finally get the whole with power comes responsibility thing. Mm-hmm. But it's done in such a way where it's like satisfying and it's good. And it's true to the character. We don't want to hear
just because when they even announced it, we're like, we're getting our 3rd guy. We're gonna watch Uncle Ben die for the 3rd time. And they didn't do that. He died off screen. He'd already been dead, and we get instead that figure being Aunt May, who dies later on in the movies. Spoiler if you haven't watched the 3rd time.
Everyone's seen Spider-Man.
But it's those little changes that mix it up and keep it fresh while still maintaining the original character's identity. You know what I mean?
And this feels like Superman to me, at least.
Absolutely.
I like how hopeful it is, how happy it is.
Yes.
Like Superman's like the biggest thing he has to really deal with is like his personal life, essentially, like in working and kind of figuring out how that all works with his superpowers and everything. It's great.
I love Steve.
Steve is great.
I love him so much.
I felt so bad that they left him behind in the last episode.
He's like, how are we going to do it? Like, this is more than just filming or this and that. And he turns around and they just drove off with his car, and he's like, Okay.
What about the whole adventure to get into space with Lois and Jimmy? How they have to get the whole crew together?
Yeah, they named it Olsen's 11. I love that.
That's pretty funny.
Jimmy finally went broke. We knew it was coming. They had that counter the whole season.
He essentially he spent some money getting to like Strikers Island or whatever, but then he gave basically the rest of his money to Livewire to help them.
Should have put some of it, at least a mil, into savings or an investment fund or something.
I would have been like, "Hey, Livewire, this is the rest of the money I have," but really not. Just really keep like $1 million of
anything, you know. He was very not trusted to be a millionaire, but also I think him having all that money kind of solves a lot of problems that they don't like. It's too easy to solve problems now because he's rich. So.
It was sort of just a funny little reveal too. It wasn't. I don't think it was supposed to be like a staple of the show or anything. And it's funny when he loses it too. It's like, oh, haha, Jimmy's being dumb and he lost all his money.
Which he's still a leader at the Daily Planet.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, he runs their online operations and stuff, so he still has that. But it was just funny finally seeing him go broke. They brought back in the monkey and the robot, and that was my biggest gripe with the first season. We can touch on it a little bit. They basically have an intelligent monkey, an intelligent gorilla, fall in love with a human man, and you're like, oh, it's just, it's them putting in, a gay couple, whatever. No, this is bestiality. This is a monkey.
The only way
with a man.
The only way it works. I mean, the only reason I think I'm fine with it is because in between that season and this season, I learned that that's like how it is in the comics.
Yeah,
like that was a Doom Patrol that was originated in Doom Patrol, which is one of those sillier, goofier comics. So like they probably had these characters and they're like, well, just make them fall in love. It's funny because it's funny. It's like a big monkey, it's a big French monkey
and a German
dude in a brain
robot.
Yeah, it's funny that they're together.
Like
in this show though, they make it so sentimental and like happy and like, oh my love. He's like,
yes, dude.
It's very weird.
And the monkey's in like the sweater and stuff.
Yeah.
They're drinking tea together, and I'm just like, this is weird. Is no one else talking about this?
They do have their comic accurate looks now. Like he's got the whole sash with the beret and all this stuff. Because I think he took it from one of the alternate dimension counterparts.
I love that they were like, we went to all these different universes, and no one liked that we were doing that, so they kept kicking us out. And all they want to do is like, we just want to we want to perfect our research of making black holes. It's like, stop! The whole time they're in that ship, they're like, we'll do research. I don't know how he got in here.
He's been here the whole time, apparently.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, the only thing I would say that I don't love, like I think we already touched on this, I don't like any of the other people's suits, like Livewire, Heatwave, like all those people. They didn't look like
even militaristic.
Even like Steel. Steel looks great in this, but he's like a CGI like metal suit. Like there's no personality to his suit. You know what I mean?
I think we'll get it because, like you said, we were theorizing off screen, guys, that we're probably gonna get some more superhero tie-ins. I'm thinking like Booster Gold maybe from the future, or maybe some JL. 31st century people, Legion of Superhero people, someone like that. So I think in the next season we'll see more of Mr. Iron, Dr. Irons, and he'll have his steel suit,
I think what I'm looking forward to, like a Green Lantern. We already saw Green Lantern in this, like as a throwaway kind of aside. Like,
dude, the Green Lantern monkey dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so sick.
Yeah, it's like a construct of their memories, so it's not actually the fighters. It's like robots doing the fighting, but they were projected with the memories. So cool way to have them in there. You get a Thanagarian and a Green Lantern monkey.
It was interesting seeing Thanagar getting reduced to ashes.
That's another thing, another avenue we can go in the future. We can bring in Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, they want revenge on Kara.
Yeah, that would be a good way to. That would be a good way to bring in some extra heroes and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. I found this out before second season came out, but someone on Twitter was saying like, you need to support the show because the creator wanted to originally do a Flash anime.
Oh.
And so that's why I think DC was like, well, we got a Superman movie coming out. Can we do Superman instead to kind of like, get the Superman interest back up in the popular media?
I think they've been greenlit for season 3 already.
Yeah, they have. One of the promos after the episode aired was like, join Jimmy, Lois, and Clark in the next season.
I'm excited. I want more from it though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's light, it's fun, but give me some depth.
Give me like a dark side. Give me like a real threat, like a big. I know Brainiac was a big threat, but it was sort of still tied into the backstory and all this stuff.
Like we could even put the yell on there when Superman comes back out. You get Brainiac. He goes, bro, come on, you can do better than that.
It's because he's an AI. It sounded fine.
Yeah, but
Michael Emerson is the guy who voiced him. He's really good. I love pretty much everything he does. You know him as the Doctor from Fallout.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on Lost for a number of seasons. He's really good. But I thought his performance was really good too. I don't know. He's dumb.
Did you see him fall over?
And he just kind of like rolled with it like he meant to do it.
I know. I loved Brainiac. I like his design. I think this show genuinely has the potential to be like Invincible.
Yeah,
and the
for
fact
sure.
of scope, depth, like coming back to it and stuff, the funness of it. I'm excited to see where they go with it.
It's a little too slice of life for Invincible. Like Invincible takes those moments, but they're very dramatic and heavy.
They're heavier, you know.
You know, I think, but they're already in their. Well, they're on their second season already, but they've already covered so much of the comics.
Yeah, and the comics themselves were heavier. This was like a complete okay, I'll do something about it. I'll see what I can do. It's light, but I want it to maintain its happy-go-lucky. But I want it to be a little bit deeper, have a little bit more depth to it, and be a little bit longer. Let's get like 15 episodes, or have longer than 20 minutes long for an episode. You know?
Yeah, that's another reason why I can't hit Invincible links is because they've got so much more time on their side. You know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, give us like a dark side. Give us like someone kind of intimidating, crazy, intimidating.
We can get Mongol.
Yeah, get Mongol or Lex Luthor.
Yeah, let's see some Lex Luthor stuff. You know,
he's in here. I kind of think that was a little, I don't want to say disappointing, but it was a little.
It was disappointing for me.
I just think we want Lex in a certain way, and I guess we're seeing Lex's origins. So he's still like about the same age as Superman. He was the Parasite's assistant, and from what I understand, they were like, well, Parasite has this assistant named Alex. Like, they were kind of going to the higher ups, like, do we want him to be Lex Luthor? And they were like, well, let's just be careful. Let's see if we get a good, get whatever. And so eventually, like, once it was successful, like, okay, we can put Lex Luthor in, but let's try and do it this way.
Yeah, I like it. Again, it's a change, but it's still the same character, you know?
Yeah, and I think he's only got places to go, so I don't know if he
go up from here.
Yeah, I don't know if he shaves his head or whatever, but we're gonna have to get him bald at some point.
Yeah,
it's just one of the parts of Lex Luthor. He's got to be bald always. Maybe some of the Krypton radiation gives him some kind of cancer or something. Yeah. Maybe that kind of.
I know he's had cancer from kryptonite before.
I know it's been a plot thread before, so maybe that's something we do. He was experimenting with the Metallo robots, right?
Yeah.
And so they were the Kryptonian.
I like that they threw that in there, Metallo.
Yeah, and that was another hubris thing for Amanda Waller and Lex was like, oh yeah, we're gonna build some robots to take down Superman, even though Superman's never been an issue. And then the actual real enemy, does take over the weapons they made to use against Superman.
I will say the suits for her Amanda Waller's Task Force X. You know, we got Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Called Slade, or they call him Wilson here. They don't call him Deathstroke. He looks sick. He gets like a almost like this guy from Apex Legends called Revenant.
Okay.
Look up Revenant. He looks kind of like him. We get Blockbuster in this. He looks cool. And then we've got the Atomic Skull. I think all of them were done very well.
Yeah, I think I think if we're doing Task Force X, though, we need to have some of those Task Force X characters, like historically, like Captain Boomerang.
I think the problem is right now they're still trying to establish, like you said, they don't want to bring in anyone that can take the limelight from Superman. Yeah. Right now it is a Superman show, not an ensemble cast show.
And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm kind of worn out of Amanda Waller. She's been in every DC project for the past like 20 years.
That is true.
Let's just get rid of Amanda Waller for a couple years. Give us some time to. And I know James Gunn's like making a whole like Waller show. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get more tired of her.
Yeah.
And I like that character. I like the idea of that character, but she's sort of like whereas Nick Fury is someone that we like because he's like a hero and he's on the good side. He's shady, right? But he's a hero.
Amanda Waller is more shady than hero.
She's definitely a villain. Yeah. Like she's straight up a villain. Yeah. She just hates the superpowered community and everything. So I'm fine with her being in it, but maybe just like scale the role back a little bit. Maybe just make Lex that role. Yeah. That would maybe make it more interesting for me.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Alrighty, well that's our review of season 2 of My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, what do you guys think of it? Thank you guys for participating in that poll. You know, we wanted to cover it anyway, but we wanted to see, is it something you guys would watch? So hopefully it does well. What would you rate this, Hopper, out of 10?
I'd probably give it like an 8, maybe a 9, even. Like
I was gonna go 9 with it.
At parts it's a 9, but at other parts it's a little slower, maybe like a 7.
Yeah.
It can only get better. I think. I'm super excited for what comes next.
Probably gonna be another year before we get it though.
Yeah, but at least like with the anime style, they can kind of cut corners and do a little bit less animation on it.
But yeah, let us know what you think about this video. If you like it, we can do more like it. Just leave all your thoughts down there in the comments down below. If you want to see more of review stuff, we've got Ben 10 over here on the left side of the screen. And then over here on the right, we have Invincible, another cartoon anime type review thing. You can check that out over here. And then subscribe right here in the middle. And we will see you guys next time.